Hey guys, it's Bassima. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm a productivity coach, and in today's video, I wanted to talk about having too many interests and feeling like it's stopping you from moving forward. What I really try to relay on my channel when it comes to time management and productivity is that oftentimes it's not just the strategies or the tools that you're using that are preventing you from going towards your goals. Usually there is a deeper layer that you're not addressing that's actually blocking you from going towards them. And one of these reasons is having so many interests and every day getting pulled into a different direction by some new shiny dream that you want to follow, and then finding yourself 3 months, 6 months, a year down the line, and you haven't accomplished any of the goals that you originally set for yourself. So this topic is near and dear to my heart because I consider myself a multi-passionate millennial. If you also consider yourself a multi-passionate millennial and are feeling like you don't know yet how to use it to your advantage, then today's video is going to be especially for you. So I'm going to be sharing with you the 4 tips that have really helped me over the years to really gain momentum towards my goals, and that are also helping my clients make that momentum towards their goals. So the number one thing that you have to start by doing is rebuilding your trust in your decisions. So the one thing that you're going to lose out on as a multi-passionate millennial is losing out on trust in yourself because of the fact that you're consistently being pulled in so many different directions by so many different interests. You never end up sticking to any of them long term enough to become proficient at them or to actually see what could come out of them. You're finding yourself in this cycle where you're making commitments to yourself or you're setting goals to yourself and you're never actually achieving them. You need to start working on rebuilding that trust in your choices, knowing that no matter what decision you end up choosing, worst case scenario, you find out that you don't like it, it doesn't end up working out, but you know that you have full faith in your decisions and you're resilient enough to deal with any of the consequences of these decisions. So now the question is, how can you start to actually rebuild this trust? And really, by keeping it simple is the way to go. Start by making small choices every single day that you commit to and you follow through on. It can be as simple as deciding on what it is that you're going to eat for that day or what is it that you're going to work on for that day. Really making sure that you do it because you told yourself that you would. And eventually you're going to reach a point where you're going to have full faith in the decisions that you're making for yourself. You're not consistently going to be needing to turn to other people or looking for answers outside of yourself. Instead, you're going to be able to find them within. So my next tip for you is to zero in on what is it that you don't want to do. So oftentimes we're just so focused on what it is that we're interested in and we're getting really confused and overwhelmed by that. We're never giving any attention to what it is that we know 100% we wouldn't want to waste our time doing. This really helped me at the beginning because it made me realize that I was spending a lot of time comparing myself to other people that had one specific goal in mind and were just going for it and seemed to know what it is that they wanted, whereas I felt like I didn't know what I wanted. So asking myself, what is it that I don't want to do? What is it that I'm not interested in? Allowed me to see what are things that I actually had put on my list that I didn't want to do, but other people had chosen. And I thought, well, if they're doing it and they're succeeding at it, then it might also be a good idea for me. But now when you look at them based off of what you know for a fact you're not interested in, you might begin to eliminate some of the interests that you have on your list. Tip number 3, and I know you've heard this many times before, is to just start. Picking any of the interests that you have, starting with that and moving in that direction is going to be so much better for you than just contemplating whether or not you're actually interested in it. It's going to allow you to gain that clarity so much quicker to see if it actually is something that you could potentially become very proficient at and enjoy, or worst case scenario, you find out that it's not actually all that you thought it would be and you're not actually all that interested in that goal. One of the most things that kept me stuck for so long from just picking any of my interests and starting was the fact that I didn't want to choose the wrong interest. That I was so focused on making sure that I made the right decision, the right starting point. But this didn't work to my advantage because at the end of the day, instead of just choosing one and just seeing if it actually is meant for me or not, I just kept delaying making that decision and finding myself more confused than ever. Just choose one of the interests that you currently have on your list after you've done the process of elimination and work on sticking to it long long term enough so that you can actually see what can come out of it, and if you actually do want to do this for the next little while or not. Now, my last tip for you is a tip that I really took to heart when I heard it from my favorite career coach of all time, Ashley Stahl. Whatever you do it fully. So whatever interest you decide to start off with, you want to make sure that you're going all in with that interest so that you can actually see what can come out of it. Once again, this brings us to the fact that because we're always being pulled into so many different directions as multi-passionates, we never stick to anything long-term enough to see what can actually come out of it. So allowing yourself to really go all in to whatever interest that you end up choosing, instead of always moving from one thing to the next so quickly and never really seeing any results. So these are the 4 steps that you can take to really start rebuilding that trust within yourself. This can really help you go from feeling super confused to more clear as to where it is you should start. At the end of the day, if there's one thing that I hope you take away from this video, it's to just start. That's gonna get you closer to clarity on what it is that you would enjoy doing more than anything else. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a happy, healthy, and productive week.